Before the first brick was laid, before the cement dried, before the land was even cleared, she was already standing there. The construction workers saw her. The architect saw her. Even the previous landowner mentioned her. But nobody stopped building. And now, she's still inside the house.
My parents bought the house when I was 9. Brand new construction, fresh paint, perfect lawn, empty neighborhood. The realtor smiled too much when she handed us the keys. She said, "You're the first family to live here." But later, I learned that wasn't true.
My parents bought the house when I was 9. Brand new construction. The first night, I couldn't sleep. New houses have a smell like dust and chemicals and something unfinished. At exactly 2:17 a.m., I saw someone standing in my doorway. A woman, tall, thin, hair hanging down over her face. I thought it was my mom until she didn't move and didn't blink. Fresh paint, perfect lawn, empty neighborhood. The realtor smiled too much when she handed us the keys. She said, "You're the first family to live here." But later, I learned that wasn't true. She wasn't doing anything, just standing there watching me. I pulled the blanket over my head, counted to 10, 20, 30. When I looked again, she was closer. Not walking, just closer. Years later, I found something in the attic. A dusty folder, blueprints, construction notes. One page had red writing across it. Woman seen on property again, standing near foundation. Another note, workers refusing night shifts. One worker quit after claiming she was already there before we arrived. I researched the land. Before the house, there was nothing. No recorded buildings, no cemetery, no tragedy, just empty land. But one old newspaper article caught my attention. A missing woman disappeared near that exact field. Her body was never found. As I got older, she never left, always standing somewhere in the house. Kitchen corner, hallway, basement stairs, never walking, never blinking, just appearing closer each night, like the house wasn't hers, but we were. When I was 17, I finally went into the unfinished basement alone. There was a crack in the concrete floor, right in the center. The air down there was colder than anywhere else, and I felt it like someone was standing directly behind me, breathing. But when I turned, she was across the room, still watching. I asked my dad one night, "Did anything strange happen during construction?" He went quiet, then said, "One worker refused to pour the foundation, said someone was standing where the concrete would go." I asked what happened. He replied, "They poured it anyway." After that conversation, she stopped standing at a distance. She began appearing right beside my bed, not touching, just inches away. Her hair no longer covered her face, and when I finally saw it, there were no eyes, just empty, dark sockets. At 3:03 a.m., I woke up unable to move. Sleep paralysis. But this time, she wasn't standing. She was kneeling beside my bed, her face inches from mine, and she whispered something, not words, just a sound, like wind moving through a crack in concrete. The next morning, I went into the basement again. The crack in the foundation had widened, and beneath it, there was fabric, old, rotting, buried under the concrete. The house wasn't built on empty land. It was built on top of her. We moved out shortly after. New owners moved in, a young couple. They have a daughter. She's about 9. Sometimes when I drive past the house, I see someone standing in the upstairs window, tall, thin, hair hanging down, and beside her, a smaller shadow standing perfectly still.
They didn't build the house they built it around her. And if you've ever felt like someone was already inside